And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes for the third time today, and I am dropping part 4, that's technically 8, of my tier list series. This time we are doing the primary position power forwards in NBA 2K21 My Team. Power forward, I think, is probably the best position in NBA 2K21 My Team. You could argue the center position, possibly shooting guard, maybe. No, I don't think so, but it's one of the best positions in NBA 2K21 My Team, and the rankings will reflect that. There's so many good cards, it's crazy. So, parameters. Only primary position power forwards are in effect. Guys that play either small forward or center that are primarily used as power forwards are not going to make the cut. They will be on their respective tier list for their primary position. So guys like Giannis would be a good example, are not going to be here. But a lot of your favorite cards are. So, S tier, unquestionable best cards in the game. Look, realistically, I'm trying to consolidate two different gens here. There's going to be some guys in S tier that you might think deserve to be in A tier. There might be some guys in A tier that you think deserve to be in S tier. There might even be guys in B tier that you think deserve to be in S tier. It's all personal preference, but I'm trying to combine all play styles in both gens and give you a distinctive list of all the best cards. A tier, really quality cards just to shade under S tier. Like I said, for your personal playstyle, some of the guys in A tier may even be S tier guys for you. B tier, very, very good cards. These are cards majority of the community use, or guys that if you have C or below are going to make an immediate impact on your team, and I'll explain why each card is in each tier in my opinion. C tier, specialists are outdated guys. Guys that used to be good, but they have a couple things wrong with them, or, you know, it's not their fault, they're just outdated cards that came out a while ago. D tier, they do a few things okay, or pretty good, but for the most part, you can upgrade by using C tier or above cards. And F tier guys, just cards that aren't good, and you should definitely upgrade them if you're still using them, but in the right hands, some of them might even still be usable. So, let's get underway. This is the one that's going to be the most divisive. I can kind of feel it already. Tom Chambers. F. Look, Tom Chambers is cool. He's a white guy with a mullet. He dunks really hard, but this card is a terrible jump shot, and it's just not very good. Aaron Gordon. D tier. It's not good. It's better than Tom Chambers. Dark Matter Big Blake. S tier. No question. This card is incredibly good. If you have fond memories of the Pink Diamond Big Blake, you're going to love life when you get this one, because this dude is a monster. No joke. Pink Diamond Anthony Davis. I think he's still a little better than Tom Chambers, so I'd put him in like D tier, but he's not good. It's not his fault, he came out in Season 2, so. Crochet goes C tier. Like, he can still get buckets. He's not that great defensively, but pure shooting, he's really good. He dunks pretty hard too, I suppose. Like I said, he's not incredibly great, but he's alright. Elton Brand is bad. I would say he's worse than Tom Chambers somehow. He came out in Season 2, though. It's whatever. Andre Karolinko. A tier. If we're talking both gens. Personally, like on current gen, he's probably still A tier. You could argue he's B tier, but I think with his abilities over on next gen, I think he deserves to be A tier. He does have Hoff Steady, which is super annoying, but like I said, on next gen, it's Hoff Blinders. It's a good badge. I hate that there's two different sets of badges. It makes things way harder in regards to pretty much everything. But 2K has to sell the game on new systems that only like 5% of the gaming population has, so whatever. Billy Cunningham. Badged up, he's probably B tier, but regular, I'd say he's probably C tier. Though Billy Cunningham is kind of an interesting case. Like I said, he is a good-ish card. Billy Cunningham is like a weird card. Like, usually he's pretty okay in 2K, but like I said, he does miss a few pretty important shooting badges, including like Clutch Shooter, which you'd be surprised how important that is at the end of the game. Deadeye, Blinders on next, which whatever, you know. Hot Zone Hunter Green Machine. Like I said, he's missing a decent amount of badges. He's not terrible though. Like, he'll probably be the first person I'd move up if I needed to. Richard Dumas. He's still a beast. I'd put him in B tier. He'll be outdated. He's a little small at 6'7", but he still works pretty well at the power forward or small forward, realistically. Amethyst Big Blake. I mean, he's not as bad as these guys down here. I'd put him in D tier. Garnett. Garnett's B tier. He's a monster defensively. He's one of the best defensive cards in the game. He's just not an incredibly good shooter, and he's not great with the ball in his hands. That's the only negatives, but like there's certain people out here that Kevin Garnett would be an absolute S tier card on their team specifically, you know? He's a very strange card. That's the reason I have him over in B tier. People are not going to like this one. Bobby Jones is A tier. Bobby Jones is so good. Like, he needs a couple shooting badges added to him, but he has, like, Hoff range and Hoff flexible, like, immediately. He's so good. Like I said, I don't rank cards based on what they'd be like if they're badged up. I rank them based on what they'd be like if you picked them up. So, important to note, Bob Pettit. He's not good, but he at least shoots the ball pretty well, so I'd put him in D tier. He could rebound a little bit, too. Imagine Bob Pettit when Wilt Chamberlain came in the league. He knew it was over for him, man. Boris Diaw. B tier. Boris Diaw is a monster. No question. He looks so funny playing basketball, too. He just looks like he shouldn't be hooping at the level he hoops. Byron Beck. I'd put him in D tier. If he's badged up, C tier, but D tier. Nobody's using Byron Beck. Carmelo Anthony. He's still good. I'd put him in C tier. He might even move up to B tier. Like, it just depends. Bosh. Bosh is one of the most slept on cards in this game. I would put him in A tier. He's really, really good. His jump shot is money. He moves pretty well. He plays good defense, surprisingly. People don't think of Chris Bosh as a good defensive player, but he's a really good defensive big man. Amethyst Chris Webber is so bad. I think he's worse than Tom Chambers. Def. Danilo, I'd put Danilo in C tier. He's like a better version of like Austin Crocier. Antoine Jameson. I think Jameson's still B tier just because of his jump shot. Like, he's an all-around good player, and then he has a really good jump shot as well attached to it, so my man Antoine is nice. Scalabrini goes right next to Crocier. I personally think Crocier is a little bit better. You might think Scalabrini's better. It doesn't really matter. They're both in C tier. Dan Issel. I respect him for looking like a 1970s hockey player, but at the same time, like, he's not a good card. Badged up, maybe C tier. Offer it D. Danny Ferry. There's no reason Danny Ferry, with his ugly player model and his bald head, should be S tier, but 2K works in mysterious ways, so here we are. He's an S tier. I hate it. I dislike it very much, but here he is. That pains me. Dave DeBuscher, C tier. He's really, really good defensively, but he's a little bit small. Dennis Rodman, he's just like DeBuscher, very good defensively, but he can't shoot at all. And DeBuscher can. Derek Jones Jr. is a monster. Literally one of the best Amethyst big men in this game. I'm not even kidding. He plays well at power forward and small forward. And for Amethyst-based challenges in the future, he's going to be very necessary. I mean, he's no Matt Bonner, but, you know, it is what it is. Draymond, I think, is still B tier. I think Dumas is a little better than him, but Draymond's still good. George McGinnis, I'd throw him in C tier. He got no love when he came out. That Joe Ingles base on him is actually it's relatively solid. Giannis. Oh, man. I mean, this Giannis is definitely B tier. He's better than Retro Giannis, but, like, realistically, not by much. Like, I don't know. It's tough. Retro Giannis is a very tough card to rank because, like, I don't generally think he deserves to be in... Yeah, I don't know if he deserves to be in B tier, but, like, he's objectively not terrible, and they're basically the same. I would put this Giannis in the low-end B tier area, and this one in the high C tier. He's still really good. He's a great defensive card. He can handle the ball. He can attack the rim. Some people can shoot with him, though he doesn't have, like, range and some important shooting badges, which I think are necessary, but this card came out, like, back in January area. I think it was, like, January, February when it came out, so it is what it is. Glenn Big Baby Davis, D. Hakeem Warwick is a beast. I don't care. I know there's somebody who's going to get mad at Hakeem Warwick being over Giannis. It doesn't matter. Hakeem Warwick's so good. Jason Tatum. I would throw this Moments Tatum over in B tier. Some people don't like base 107. I think it's pretty okay, but yeah, B tier is where he belongs. Larry Legend. I would throw Larry Legend in B tier. He's still usable, for sure. Dark Matter Tatum. I would throw Dark Matter Tatum over in A tier. Like, Dark Matter Tatum's pretty good. I don't think he's as good as Danny Ferry or Blake Griffin, though. Like, I really don't. You might think he deserves to be an S tier, but I think overall, between both gens for all play styles, he deserves top A tier billing. Robert Covington, D. I mean, whatever. Jeff Green, if Jeff Green is badged up with shooting badges, he's B. If he's not, he's C tier. Right around Giannis. I think he's better than Giannis because of the shooting potential, but that's where he belongs. Obi Toppin for a free card is B tier. He's so good. Like, I don't care. Obi Toppin is so good. I'm so glad he won over Jared Culver. Paul George. Everyone gets mad every time I put Paul George in B tier, but at the power forward position, I think he's the top of B tier. He's altogether really good. He's just getting kind of outdated. Not really. He's still very usable, but I don't think he's as good as Tatum, Karolinko, Bobby Jones, or Chris Bosh. I still think he's better than Dumas, but not by much. Like, realistically. Rudy Tomjanovich. I'd put him over here in, like, C tier. I'd use Derek Jones over him, but he's alright. Jerry Lucas is so bad. He can shoot, which is more than I can say for Dennis Rodman, but his defense really is that bad where he's down in F tier. Millsap, I would throw Millsap in B tier. He definitely needs a few shooting badges. Like, if you give flexible to him and stuff, he might even be borderline A tier, but until you do that, he's probably down in B tier. Big Zion. Zion's still a beast. I'd throw him in S. I don't know. There's not many people who could really argue that. For your playstyle, like somebody like Andre Karolinko or Bobby Jones or Bosh might be better, but overall, Zion's still expensive for a reason. Like, he's good. My boy Rudy, B tier. As much as I like this card, he's not A tier. Like, I like Rudy Gay a lot, but I can't say he's A tier level. Yee, I would throw Yee in like a bottom barrel C tier area. He's outdated and he misses a lot of whites, but still 7-footer that can move, man. This one might be controversial too, but I think Joe Smith is actually really good. People don't give this card a lot of credit just because we got so many good power forwards that some guys just fall through the cracks, and I think he's one of those fall through the cracks guys. Like, he's actually a pretty good card. Juan Herman Gomez. I don't think he's quite C tier, but he's fun. I'd put him in D. Julius Randle. This one probably be down in D tier. I like him. Keldon Johnson. He's excellent, and I like this card a lot. Like, his jump shot's good. He plays excellent defense. He's altogether like a pretty good card. I think the thing that hurts him is him being 6'5". Like, him being 6'5", you cannot play him at power forward. Like, he's just going to get abused. Small forward, like, if he was a primary small forward, he'd honestly be probably S tier in small forwards because that's how bad that position is. But I'd put him down in C, though I like this card, and for my personal ranking, like, guys I like, I would probably put him in B tier. But if we're just talking power forwards, like, you can't play this dude at the power forward. Kermit's a beast. Kermit's really good. He needs some shooting badges, but he's good. Durantula. Yeah, I'd throw Durant up here somewhere. Like around Dumas area. Obi Toppin, Boris Diaw, somewhere around there. Let's finally buy it now if you want him. Kyle Anderson. He's very Jeff Green-like. I would put him over in C tier. Big Blake. Big Blake, if he's badged up, he's like C tier area. But I would say he's actually down in D. He's definitely nerfed. He feels so sluggish. Kuz. I think Kyle Kuzma's A tier. I do. He's so good. Like, there's like a grouping of like power forward / small forward guys that are all like mid-tier ones. You know, guys including like Rudy Gay, Obi Toppin, Millsap. There'll be a few more that are like all in the same kind of grouping as far as like size and ability and stuff like that. And I think Kuzma's in that grouping, but he's the best out of them. Weber, put him in C tier. He's just outdated. Lamar Odom. I do think Lamar Odom is still at the very bottom of B tier. He's still a usable card that kind of got forgotten about, but he's still good. I would say Antoine Jameson and... Yeah, I would say Antoine Jameson, Lamar Odom, and Kermit are probably the worst in B tier. Probably Hakeem Warwick down here. I like this card a lot, but I'm kind of overhyping him a bit. LaMelo. I think LaMelo's B tier. LaMelo's good. LaMelo's really good. He's a little bit small, and I know I said that about Keldon Johnson, but LaMelo brings you an element of ball handling that I think Keldon does not. And he is 2 inches taller than Keldon Johnson with a bigger wingspan. It's crazy. Thaddeus Young. I put him in C tier. He's good. Needs a couple badges, and he doesn't really have any Hoff badges, but I'd put him there. Larry Legend, bottom of C tier. There's other guys I would use for sure, but I think he's better than a lot of the D tier guys. Larry Nance, he's bad at this point. I remember I used to get dunked on him constantly. Like, constantly he used to dunk on me back in Season 2. Doesn't mean he's good, though. LeBron Brown. I mean, LeBron's B tier still. He's not worth the price at this point. There's better options. Like, personally, if you told me you wanted to spend 100K plus on LeBron, I would tell you just to go get, like... You probably have Obi Toppin at that point. I would just use him. I'd tell you to go get Dumas. I'd tell you to go get Rudy. I'd definitely tell you to go get Kuzma. He's under 70K, and he's better. So, this card is still so usable that I would put him in C tier. Like, this Diamond Andre Karolinko is probably has... Out of all the cards we've gotten this year, I think he has some of the most longevity I've seen out of any card this year. He came out in the first retro set, and I would still put him in C tier on this power forward list. Like, legitimately, he's that good. Mo Spates, love you, bud, but down in F tier. Mo Lucas plays good enough defense that he is out of the cellar dwelling area of F tier, but he's not like a good card at this point. Where's Rodman? Right there. Maxi Kleber, I like this card a lot, but he is kind of sluggish now. He was good when he came out, but at this point I would put him in like C tier behind Giannis. He's still usable though. Like, if you're on a super budget and you need a power forward, like, he can hold it down. But personally, I don't even know if he's really better than Derrick Jones. Like, I don't. He's definitely not better than Billy Cunningham. Like, Billy Cunningham's definitely better than him. I would put Billy Cunningham and Jeff Green, like, right there. Yeah, no. Let's resort this. Yeah, where's my boy at? Derrick Jones Jr. There, that's better. OG Anunoby. I would put him at, like, the bottom of B tier. He's quite usable. I don't think he's necessarily great, but he's usable. Rashard Lewis. I don't think this card is as bad as people say. Like, I know a lot of people trash this card, and it's not for no reason. Like, this card is definitely not great, but he gets so much more hate than he deserves. He's 6'10 with a 6'10 wingspan. 35 Hoff badges, like 94 is a weird release, but it's the same one Dirk has, and I love it on Dirk. It's just weird coming off of Rashard Lewis for some reason. But he's got good speed, good ball handling, like good badges. There's nothing wrong with this card necessarily. People just hate to hate, I think. I like Rashard Lewis. Like, I use him over Antoine Jameson for sure. I'd put him like over here somewhere by like LaMelo Ball, I think. Kenyon Martin I would put in C tier. He was good once upon a time. That time's kind of over. It's alright. It's not terrible, though. My boy Rudy LaRusso. Oh, I want to put you in B. I'm going to put you in B tier. This is my list. I don't care. Rudy LaRusso is a beast. Like, Rudy's nasty. That's better. That's a more appropriate ranking right there. Rudy needs some badges applied to him for sure, but so does Kermit. That's all I got to say about that. Rui Hachimura. Yeah, right up here. Where's Rudy at? Boom. Right there. Rui's good. Is he much better than like a Obi Toppin, Paul Millsap? Maybe slightly, but I don't think very much more. But he's still good. Sekou, I'd put him... Where's Dennis Rodman? Yeah, right there. Serge Ibaka, he's still better than the F tier guys. Sean Kemp, I'd put him in C tier. Decent budget option, but he's, you know... Yeah, where's Maxi Kleber? He's like right over there. Sidney Wicks is good, but he does need a bunch of shooting badges applied to him, so I'd put him in C tier. Terry Cummings sucks. Tony Kukoc. I feel like there's going to be disagreements on this one, but I would put him in S. Like, he's so good. He's got that Ray Allen base. He, like, makes so many slightlies, man. It is crazy. And I do generally think on both gens, Tony Kukoc is probably better than Jason Tatum, Karolinko, Bobby Jones, Chris Bosh, Kuzma overall. If you're talking strictly next gen, I think you could make a case that someone like Karolinko might be a little better just because of that Hoff blinders. But I generally think Kukoc is an absolute monster. And I think he's so usable on both gens, it makes sense for him to be on S tier. But hey, let me know what you think down in the comments. Thurl Bailey, it hurts. That hurts. No, Thurl Bailey is not that much worse than Scalabrini and Crocier and Yee. C tier. Tobias Harris. He plays a little bit of defense. I'd put him in like bottom C tier. He's not good though. And the other card that I think has a lot more longevity than it should would be Diamond Zion. Just like Andre Karolinko, he's still somewhat usable today. He's still around like 30 to 40K as a diamond card, and there's a reason for that. He's still really good. That is the list, everybody. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm sure some people are going to have issues with where I put some cards, but in my opinion, I believe I did a very unbiased job, but you'll let me know as you always do. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be dropping the final tier list, which will be the center position, which I'm really excited about because that one has a lot of good options. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of the rankings, where you would put players, which guys you think are too low, which guys you think are too high. I'll typically respond and have discourse with everybody as long as you're not a dick about it. So anyways, check the description for the rest of my stuff, and I will be back tomorrow. As always, this has been your boy Cheap Ludes. Have a good night.